In the top right corner, the Red Terran, Barcode. And in the top left corner, the Blue Zerg, Dwonker. And we've seen Dwonker before pull out a victory recently on the BSL channel against the Master Terran. Master 3 player rank 8. This is also a Barcode Terran, but it's a different Terran, different profile than the other one he faced. This one is rank 3 in his Master 3 division, so this is the highest ranked Terran player, or the highest ranked player period, who has ever been on the BSL channel. So is this actually a bum match? I don't know at this point. This is likely the ceiling, skill-wise, that this channel has to offer. We are the BSL after all. See here, hatch gas pool for Dwonker, pretty standard. And Dwonker in his last game used that Roach Ravager like a battering ram against the Terran opponent, whittled him down. Was just cost effective enough. He's surprisingly good at those corrosive biles for a Diamond 1 player. It's very accurate, sniping down Liberators. And it surprised a lot of players, including that Master Terran, you know. When you're a Master Leaguer and you go against a Diamond Leaguer, you might play a little bit more arrogantly. But Dwonker definitely checked his opponent, surprised him with how much muscle was in that Roach Ravager play. But we'll see how he does here against an even higher ranked Master player. I mean, these Master players are Master for a reason. They got the muscle. Maybe even better fundamentals than Dwonker. So rightfully so, this Terran player is the big favorite going into this matchup. Rank 3 in the Master 3 division. Nothing to sneeze at. This Reaper is coming across the map. Dwonker is prepared. He's made 4 lanes for the Reaper. He knows he can be punished against an opponent of this skill level easily if he doesn't. The Reaper is coming forward here, and so are the Lings. The Lings are going off creep. A little bit of missed micro from Dwonker. He didn't need to lose that Ling. I don't think he was looking originally. Now he brings the high health Ling to the front. Queen comes out now. Not a horrible loss for Dwonker, but I mean, unnecessary a little bit. But the Reaper did not get any workers, did not get a creep tumor even. Oh wait, he's diving on this creep tumor now. Dwonker wisely placed it a little bit back from the edge. The creep tumor survives, but he gets another leg. Now this drone is being snuck downstairs. Can he plan it? Yes, he does, barely in time. So great job from Dwonker sneaking that drone down. However, this base still got up past the 3-minute mark because of the micro of that Reaper, flustering Dwonker somewhat. Staying at the edge of creep. Marine is out here to look for an Overlord. But the Overlord gets away. It's a little bit scathed from Marine fire, but it will get the scout off for Dwonker. Look at Dwonker's camera for a second here. He spots the 3rd CC. We see in production, he's mostly just droning up and getting his lair. Roach Warren coming down now. After seeing what the Terran has to offer, not surprisingly. Stim packs start at 350 for this Terran. Something that maybe on the ATAC should take note of. And this Overlord, it's kind of going diagonal. If it just went southwards, it might have lived. Maybe that was a queued up path from Dwonker. But that could have been done better. And this 3rd base now coming up for Dwonker. And it looks like the Terran player built a few Hellions. Of course, he's not sure of Dwonker's reputation, and neither is Dwonker of his. So both these players don't really know each other's playstyle. So the Roaches should do well against this Hellion Reaper and Lone Marine squad. Should the Red Terran decide to go across the map. Some safety roaches being made from Dwonker, even a spine crawler up. He's definitely respecting the potential muscle of a Terran player of this caliber. And look at this CC landing time. It's going to be A tad over 5 minutes is flying out. It's a pretty good time for the Terran player because the Zerg player does not have his 4th even planted yet. And this base is not very saturated, so the Terran is almost matching our Zerg player in terms of economy. It's matching in terms of base count, which is great for him. Just as I say that, though, Dwonker pumps out another 10 drones, so he is droning very heavily. Once he built those 6 safety roaches, he went to town on the drone button, it seems. Which is good practice in ZVT. 61 drones to 45 SCVs. Some of those drones turning into extractors for this 3rd base. 1-1 starting up for the Zerg player. Looks like it will be that Roach Ravager build after all. No surprises there once again with Dwonker. He beat one master player with it. Can he do it with a second master player? Now the Ravagers come down, shoot a bile on that medvac, and the medvac gets bruised up. So Dwonker's sending a message to the master player that he'll take whatever damage is offered. Many times the master player is used to kind of bullying the diamond player. Dwonker checking the Terran, letting him know that, hey, this isn't the case. This medvac here didn't fly away, and look, just as I said that, case in point, another bile lands as soon as the cooldown was ready. Dwonker was on that. But the Terran player did successfully kill a couple creep tumors. They're trying to get replanted, but aren't likely to be, because this creep has receded substantially. Meanwhile, back at home, the Terran is macroing up. He's getting his upgrades. 5 Marines, 2 tanks at a time. Gets a queen here, and Dwonker is really late with this drone, with these roaches. The drone pull was a little bit late, but the Roach Ravager was right next to that 3rd base. But it seemed like a good 3 seconds went by where they were not moving down, and that was a little bit costly. A few biles being thrown out now. The medevac barely gets away, but it's heavily bruised. We have a couple of bruised medevacs here. And Dwonker needs to go behind both of his mineral lines. He's looking a little bit flustered. The Queen starting to focus that medvac. Medvac goes down. The roaches here are getting damage done, but we have another drop coming in over here. The Spore got some shots in. Roaches to the rescue, but it seems like about 3 or 4 drones went down there. Dwonker now doing the extractor trick, trying to get his drones mining again, but this base here has 19 in gas, and Dwonker is flustered. He hasn't put them back yet. Meanwhile, the Terran player is saturating his 3rd base. This 4th base is not saturated. In comes the Terran player again. Where are the troops for Dwonker? He should have troops here. He should have troops here. Knowing there were 2 medvacs behind the mineral line that were not killed off. And now the Queen's going down too. Drones were pulled. Lost mining time for Dwonker. The Ravagers kill a couple of Marines that couldn't load into the remaining medvac. But I'd say this is very worth it for our master player, because he's keeping Dwonker on the left side of the map. As long as Dwonker is not pushing that huge Roach Ravager force into him right now, as long as time is being bought, odds are the Red Terran can hold on from the eventual push a little bit better. We also see a Spire coming down here from Dwonker. I think he's realized that he's getting a little bit outplayed by that Master Tier drop harass. He wants to kind of shut that down, so that's a good tech choice from him. Maybe a few Corruptors will be coming out. And the Red Terran's going across the map. He's feeling pretty confident. And Dwonker does have a supply lead, but not as much as he normally has at this point. Usually he's maxed out and pushing the opponent at this point, but he's just kind of staying defensive. A scan comes down, and this Master Terran, he's going to get a free Queen. Focuses down this Roach. Now he's taking an engagement against an army that he cannot beat on the field. The biles were somewhat ineffective there. And now he flies away. So these little trades show maturity in a player. And he's being cost efficient. Look at this, even another drop over here. Drones were pulled. And we have some Corruptors out trying to punish that. And this well-placed Spore Crawler kills off that medvac. The Marines are out on the field. By doing this, he's also getting information about the move-out timing of Dwonker. We're 10 minutes in the game, and this Roach Ravager force hasn't really flexed onto the right side of the map yet, so we all know conventional wisdom is the longer the game goes, the more and more value Roach Ravager loses. It's a mid-game army. Well, look at this. This is a great concave. Finally, we're having a battle in the middle of the map, and Dwonker got a great exchange there. Now he's backing out as soon as the tanks get their first volley in. Does not want to engage into the tanks, especially with that low Ravager count. Dwonker is a bit caught off guard with too many Roaches. He needs more Ravagers ASAP. The Terran, he's feeling confident. He's coming onto the map. He's pre-splitting his forces, loading up one dropship. Takes out a Roach even, killing the creep. He's got the tank line behind it, Liberator coming up. And the Terran is flexing, but wait a minute here, Dwonker's coming from two angles. Biles go down on the Liberator, Biles go down on a siege tank. Corruptors move forward, they're starting to shoot medevacs, and more Biles are going down on these clump tanks. And that is a sick engagement for Dwonker. Living up to his nickname once again, and like I said in the beginning of the game, he surprises these Master Terrans with the kind of muscle he shows up with. 21 more Roaches on the way. Oversaturation for Dwonker in his first base. He's got his infestation pit. He should go hive. Now the drone transfer happens. So he's on top of that. But look at the supply differential. With those 21 more Roaches being pumped out and winning that fight from before, Dwonker is remaxed at 200 supply to about 126 for the Master Terran. So the Terran got overconfident, pushed out on a creep, and was crushed by a double-pronged assault. The Zerg has lost less resources than the Terran player at this point. But we have to look at the economy. 63 SCVs to 65 drones, but there's 9 mules down on the field. A lot of orbital energy has been banked. Dwonker needs to make something happen. He's coming here. This Bioforce is going after the rocks, kind of caught off guard. And not all of them could be loaded into the medvac. So that was a nice little pickup for Dwonker. He needs that. More importantly, he needs some damage done here. Corruptors chasing down the medvacs. Roach is coming through. Going to get the Liberator. Going to get a turret as well. Bile's coming down. Clears out a tank. This Bio over here is getting biled down. And the Bile is landing on these ghosts in Bio. A lot of B's in that sentence, hard to say, but nonetheless, this command center also gets taken out, and that was actually a pretty good trade for Dwonker. Now it's the meta to go Ghosts in the late game. But Ghosts, how well do they actually trade against Roach Ravager? Especially when they're standing in Biles. 22 more Roaches on the way. Hive Tep coming for Dwonker. He's rotating now, taking down what supply depots he can, and now he's moving in here in Bolden, seeing there's no army. The army is out of position to help these siege tanks, which are completely exposed. Ghosts are to the north. Dwonker is going to the south, getting these siege tanks. Reinforcements also coming in. And Dwonker is trading against these SCVs. Biles being thrown into the Bio. And Dwonker is overrunning this position as he just won the game. The Terran's back is to the wall. These Roaches are coming up north. Siege tank going to work, but this small squad of Roaches is taking out the tank. Dwonker needs to consolidate his forces and push northward to kill the remaining army, in my opinion. He's kind of going ragtag, but he does take out this command center with a Bile, which is great for him. Just to make sure his AI isn't attacking buildings. Now the Roach is coming up here. Tries to get this tank. They back off, though. Could not get the kill on that tank. That kind of hurts Dwonker's progression north. He's going up through that choke again. Wants to finish off the tank. That Bile was unnecessary. The tank was such low HP. Now Dwonker moving these two Roaches in with this tank. DPSing this tank down. What a great move. Oh no, he ran the Roaches back for some reason. That was a blunder. I feel like if he killed that tank, it might have even been GG right there. The tank pulling back, being guarded by a small Bioforce, while these Roaches here are contained by a supply depot and a tank in good position. And if this tank went down, I think it would have been GG right there. But the Corporal hangs on. He's got 8 kills. He's Bit of a missed micro from Dwonker. Nonetheless, he's getting 3-3. He's in a commanding position. 174 supply to 95. And you can say Roach Ravager doesn't age well. But when you've whittled your opponent down to this extent, does it really matter? Look at the supplies. The Terran does have 3-3. Wow, that's worth saying right now. Dwonker's got to be careful not to fight the army and the planetary at the same time. That's one way this master player, Barcode player, can get back in this game. Dwonker rotating now. Going for another engagement. He's running in. Couple Liberators siege up. He's throwing Biles, but not all of them kill both Liberators. Only one Liberator goes down, and the other Liberator got good value there. We're starting to see the Terran army become more efficient, especially with his upgrade advantage. Dwonker trying to expand his surface area now. Trying to open up these rocks. He's going back in. He wants that Liberator after all. And this army's out of position again. He was anticipating Dwonker going southward possibly, and that Liberator and tank line was completely exposed. But now Dwonker overstaying his welcome. And these Marauders and Ghosts with this tank in the back are getting some work done. And Dwonker overextended there. Ravager gets sniped on the way out, and that was costly. And just like that, the units lost tab has swung in the Terran's favor. Dwonker is getting this 5th base up and running, while the Terran is only on 4 bases. So I'm sure this master player is getting all he can handle, and he wasn't expecting this. He's getting way more than he expected. Dwonker doubling down on this battering ram style, committing his gas into more Ravagers. He's not teching up whatsoever, besides just going high for those 3-3 upgrades. And now that the upgrade window is even, Dwonker will trade a little bit better, but to be honest, a little bit worried for him because he had such a supply advantage before. Failed to close out the game, and now we have a Terran that's consolidating on 4 bases and getting out high-tech units and closing that supply gap. But there still is a pretty decent supply gap, actually. We have a 60 supply. Dwonker just keeps remaxing on roaches. Just pump more out. The bio is more up north. We have a couple tanks over here. Dwonker coming in, just taking a turret, taking what he can get, poking and prodding, and rotating. He's forcing out scans, so the Terran had to scan, move his bio south, and now Dwonker's coming north. He's taking these supply depots, and he's going back in again. But the tanks are getting value, and this line is just wrecking the Roach Ravager again. The Ravager's getting killed on the retreat. And look at that. Now we see why. The experts say Roach Ravager doesn't age so well. All those Ghosts and Marauders had 3-3. And it didn't help that the initial Biles went onto the supply depots. And then Dwonker kind of got baited into a fight after that when his Biles were on cooldown. So he got wrecked in that fight pretty hard. Now he's down 5k resources. He has taken this base and the southern base when the Terran has it. But he's going to lose it, it looks like. The Terran is looking for a counter shot now. He knows this is his time to do some damage. He's got a great setup. Dwonker's coming in from 2 angles, though, once again. But these back roaches do not have any Ravagers to kill this Liberator. And consequently, the Liberator is getting a lot of value on this back line, and the front line is also losing. So it's another fight that Dwonker has just lost. We're seeing Infestors out on the map, even. Drones getting pulled back now that we're rallied to that new base. And Dwonker, is this where he's going to drop a game finally on the BSL channel? The Terran player catching stray roaches through the reinforcement line. Dwonker, a couple of inefficient trades in a row, and his back is to the wall. Now the Spore Crawler's coming up to help with the Liberator, help with the Queens with the Liberator. Actually got some good shots in there. Now this reinforced roach line is coming forward. Or it was for a second, it's coming forward again. It's got 5 Ravagers. The tank gets lifted off, and the Terran has to run back. That was quite a impressive force. That was macro there from Dwonker. But wait, the Terran player is taking a stand, and I'm not sure about that. The Liberator goes down. He had to predict that that could have happened with those Ravagers on the field, and it being so wounded. Now Dwonker is forcing a fight. Throwing some Biles down, clearing tanks. He's got an Infester back there even. And just like that, Dwonker has swung the pendulum back on the other side of the map, winning a fight. How the hell did he do it? 92 drones now and only 56 SCVs on top of it. Because this base has gone unencumbered. So even though he lost this location, he's still up one base. Has a very high worker count. And I think Dwonker now wisely checking the southern expansion. He knows. After almost losing the game, he got too aggressive before. So as long as he can prevent the Terran from expanding further, he should be the favorite to win this game. The supplies are so drastically different. 100 supply up approximately. That fungal whiff. Try again next time, but he's taking a tank out here. Biles are good. And he's just forcing a fight here, taking out turrets, engaging. But he pulls back as soon as the planetary starts getting shots in. That was some pretty good tactics from Dwonker. He's taking the free damage here when he can, but when this planetary started firing, he just backed out. Also retaking this base, going up to 106 drones. Look at this. What a beast economy. He's even rallying drones on the bottom right, knowing if he sucks up any resources from this Terran side of the map, it's going to be great in a super late game scenario, which this game is going into. We're at the 21-minute mark. Ravager's now going south once again. He scouted the command center with his SCV, with his drones rather. A fight up here, it's pretty gritty. Ravager's coming up. Files need to be thrown down. Files were ineffective there. A fungal, I think, has gone out. It's hard to keep track of this, but this command center also getting threatened. Files land on the command center, but not enough to kill it. But this command center is in no man's land. Gets taken out by the Ravager Biles. And Dwonker is taking a hatchery on this side of the map, in addition to long distance mining the bottom right. And he's just trying to soak up as many resources as he can. 5 more drones even in production. 108 drones on the map here. Might even be too many drones at this point. But he's really trying to suck up resources on the right side of the map. See, the spine crawler has been walked over. Drones coming en masse to oversaturate this location, and it'll be really strong if Dwonker even has this base mining for a minute. Because these are minerals that theoretically he's not supposed to get. But he's parlaying his advantage. He's got to be careful not to walk into his own biles, but he lands a great fungal over there up north. And the Ravagers are coming forward. More corrosive biles smartly go on the backline tank where the frontline tank gets taken out by the roaches. And these tanks are getting some damage done, but it's just not enough, it doesn't look like. Dwonker's got so much money in the bank to keep remaxing, and this Terran player is being prevented from mining once more. He's starving out. He's only got 40 minerals. And Dwonker is just starving out his opponent, guzzling resources from the Terran side of the map, oversaturating like crazy these bases to get as many minerals as he can while he can. And I just don't see a way the master player can come back. This Barcode player, he's rank 8 for a reason. This roach gets sniped. It was tried to be microed back by Dwonker. But the Terran player taking whatever value he can get. He knows he needs it. Scouts to the base now. He's sieging the Spore. Trying to set up a good position on the base. But that's not going to work. Dwonker coming in here. Biles going down. Terran player is loading up. Another fungal growth on this medvac. But the fungal bile was not quick enough, or maybe the bile was off cooldown, to take advantage and kill the medvac. But Dwonker is still in a commanding position. Now he's making some corruptors even. And I just don't see a path forward. 5.8k mineral in the bank for Dwonker. Terran player only has 154 minerals. He's got some ghosts, but like I said before, when there's no ultras on the field, or no broodlords on the field for the ghosts to take value from, yeah, you're sniping a Ravager, that's great. But they don't actually trade that well against Roach Ravager, even with snipes. And the Terran player has just been overwhelmed again. Finally, this barrage, this maxed out barrage of 3-3 Roach, after continually whittling down the master player, has just overwhelmed the opponent. And Dwonker is now 2 games up against master players on this channel. A top 8 and a top 3 master player. Very impressive stuff. Great game to both players.